everything that's on your plate! Finish it!
Well, I guess I gotta finish everything on my plate. Those of you listening are obviously in the loop, or you're just in the wrong fucking place entirely. Stranger Things is officially coming to Dead by Daylight. You know, that thing I felt contractually obligated to talk about since one of my videos hit 1K on accident. But what am I doing talking about shit no one cares about? That'd make me one of the fucking devs. I mean, let's be real, sometimes these devs sound like your excited little brother trying to tell you about the bug that crawled in his ear.
Get a good map coverage, but the thing is that in the lab that Phil was referring to, there's like an overhedge where like a catwalk where survivor can go, and sometimes they just like tease the killer whenever he comes in this room. He's just like, survivor over there.
So the new chapter gives us 4 things to look at. The Demogorgon killer, its new survivors Steve and Nancy, along with the map Hawkins Underground Lab. The Demogorgon is the one I give a shit about, and it's my video, so I'm doing him first. I'll touch on his power in a second, because he also has some altered attributes I wanted to talk about. His design is the first non-humanoid one, which means that his animation rig is completely different, and he is supposed to be the largest killer in the game. He is also the first killer to have an alternate attack. He can swipe, the same as regular killers that will hurt like anything else, but he can also wind up a pounce attack to close gaps. This pounce has double the range with the same cooldown, but it comes at the consequence of you telegraphing your attack by opening your head wide open. Fuck, that was a boring way of describing it. Your other penalty is that it doesn't exactly count as a basic attack, so perks like Dark Devotion and other add-ons don't apply their effects. The player base is pretty flippant on what they consider viable, so we'll see if this pounce gets any use when he comes out this Tuesday. Funny enough, I recorded this before they realized that they had no fucking clue when the PTB was coming out. For his main power, he can open up these tumors in the ground. Once he has more than one open, he can teleport to any of them by standing on one and pressing the power button. It's like the hag traps if you had to wait for a toll road each time. The devs said this was for map control, which, yeah, I guess it does that, but if you're in the middle of chasing someone, do you really have the time to walk over to a portal and bust out the fucking easy pass to catch up? If you haven't guessed, I'm not a big fan of that power. I feel like there was more that could have been done there, but before I move on to the perks, let me talk about some of the side qualities these portals have. Survivors can disable them if they find these in the wild. It takes a good bit, but other survivors can help speed up the process. The thing is, remember a while back when we got those leaks about the new status effects? Particularly Oblivious, which hides the killer's heartbeat and aura. Anyone touching the portals is affected by that, and they have their presence revealed to the killer via Killer Instinct. There is one thing that is spot on though. Map control is the general theme of his guy. All of his abilities are centered around modifying the map with little bits and pieces, and his perks will probably be ignored meta-wise, but I'll be definitely running most of them. His first perk is Surge. When you down a survivor with a basic attack, every generator in a 32-meter radius gets damaged and instantly regresses by 12%. I think this will be stronger at the start of the match, but not really at the end. Most survivors tend to leg it away from the gens when there's only 3 left. All in all though, not a bad start. I like it. His second perk is Cruel Confinement, and trust me when I say there's no crueler confinement than being stuck in a long car ride to college in which you will surely find nothing more than bad weather and hatred. Sorry, I got lost for a second. Basically, what the actual perk does is every time a survivor completes a gen, every window gets blocked for 30 seconds. Of course, these are only the windows nearby, but it could still be useful. Hell, it actually sounds pretty fun, especially when survivors do a gen in your face. I'll probably throw this on killers like Bubba and the Clown before anyone else, since those two get around the map about as well as Mobility Mary.
Oh my god! Sir? Hello?
No.
You almost hit me. You made a totally illegal move.
Get the fuck away from me. Man, are you serious?
Yes, I'm serious.
There's no fucking almost in life. I did not hit you.
I said you almost
There's
hit
no
me.
almost
You
in
made
life.
an illegal...
Get the fuck off the street with that thing. You're in the street. It's not a car. That's not a car.
What I'm getting at is that denying a large area of loops would be crucial for characters like that. In fact, I don't even see this being particularly good on the Demogorgon himself, since he can, ignore them. His final perk is Mindbreaker, and as his penultimate perk, meh. Mindbreaker works as such. When a survivor repairs a gen under 50%, they gain the Exhausted status effect. This effect lingers for about 3 seconds after hopping off, though that's not really what it's supposed to be used for. This is meant to stop the cooldown of other exhaustion perks and really nothing else, which isn't terrible, but a little terrible. Hell, I wouldn't be shocked if survivors use this to their benefit. Imagine you have sprint burst and the killer's coming for you. You may quickly tap a gen and run away with your 3-second cooldown and basically keep sprint burst in your pocket till you want it. Overall though, I would say the survivors are going to be where your money is best spent. I'm not planning on going into too much detail since I've got a neighbor now, but I'll speed through them in a little bit. The 2 survivors are Steve and Nancy, 2 teenagers that we all have to pretend are 21 over. Steve's perks will definitely place him in the hard difficulty because his perks are almost never to his benefit. Babysitter is definitely going to be run by one person in most Survive with Friends groups. Camaraderie is pretty okay, but I have no clue how often people will use it, and Second Wind is Second Wind. Nancy, though, Nancy's a different story. Most of her perks sound really fucking good, specifically Fixated and Inner Strength. For those aforementioned people that are in the wrong place, let me speed you up on those two perks. Fixated allows you, the survivor, to see your own scratch marks along with a buff to your walking speed while uninjured. This means you now have control over your mind games and the means to take advantage of it with your faster movement speed. I don't expect to see this being run in the field much because it'll require that one thing foreign to Dead by Daylight, skill. Secondly, there's Inner Strength. It's a healing perk that incentivizes breaking those pesky totems. Whenever you break a totem, the perk lights up. The next time you're injured, by hiding in a locker for 8 seconds, you'll find yourself fully healed. Pretty sweet if you ask me, but I'd love to see a match with 4 Nancys trying to get all the totems. It'll be like fucking Lord of the Flies out there. I know I've been busy doing nothing but talking about those 2 perks, so to avoid not being thorough, her last perk lights up her generator to other survivors at a short distance. There, now you've seen it all and will more than likely get to experience it firsthand tomorrow because this video is about as timely as anything made on fucking dailymotion.com. Overall, though, my reaction is pretty similar to that of when I found my ex was in terminal condition, hesitantly positive. Not enough to the point where I'll openly share my optimism, but just enough to know I'm watching closely. Was that not a funny way to end the video? Fine, here.
This fucking llama is standing literally right here. Oh my god!